What's good, y'all? Riley Beats here, and today we are going to be talking about 5 easy ways you can speed up your workflow in FL Studio so that you can make beats a lot faster. Everyone's tired of making beats in 3-hour time spans, so let's cut that down a little bit. So if you could leave a like, comment, and subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate that. Now let's get right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is templates. Having a template is so important because it really just speeds up all the tedious things you may need to do. So for example, the template I have here, I have pretty much all my typical melody tracks. So when I'm making beats, I notice a lot of my melody tracks end up being from 1 to 6, and I have that linked to a melody bus. And then I have my drums, my typical drums, just like 808 kick, clap, accent, snare, hi-hat, and open hat, all going to a drum bus. As well, I have something already in the channel rack here, just for each sound. So for example, this is an empty sound, this is a sampler, there's no sound here, but I have the 2-step pattern here. And that's just because a lot of the time I will open up a 2-step pattern and just edit that or go with that or mess around with that as I feel. Same thing for my clap, I just have that hitting on the 3 because 9 times out of 10 my clap's gonna be hitting on the 3. And then from there with the 808, I just have it with a note here just because I like to come in here and just have the notes already. And then a lot of the time I like to start out with FL keys when I'm making melodies, so I have FL keys loaded as well. And then I also have Soft Clipper on the master. So I just have everything already set up like I want it to be. So this just makes it so that whenever I open up the DAW, I can just get right to work and not have to worry about needing to mess around or open anything or waste any time with anything tedious. Now the way that you can make templates is really easy actually. All you need to do is save an FLP, so I'll just come in here, press save. You're gonna have to save a location. You're gonna have to save it in this location, which is pretty much under program files, image line, FL Studio 20, data, and then templates. If you go to there, you'll see there's all these templates. I already have my base template in here. So you just want to save your base template or whatever you want. Press save. I'm gonna not save because I already have my template set up. And then from there, you're gonna want to go into general settings. And at the very bottom here, you'll notice there's the default template and then the startup project. So you'll want to go in here and set it to the template you just have. So for me, I have it as base template. This is what I want to be my default. So I pick that, and then for the startup project, you want it to be default template. So this will make it so that every time you open up FL Studio, it'll open up this default template that you have set. So another great thing that you can do is making presets. So whenever you're just messing around or whenever you have something that you like as a preset, save it as a preset. So what you can do to save a thing as a preset in pretty much any FL Studio plugin or pretty much any plugin whatsoever is you can just press this little arrow here, and then you can press save preset as. This will take it to the presets for that plugin or VST. You can save as whatever you want it to save. So let me just save this as blank. I'll delete this later, I don't really need this. This is just a blank EQ. And if I mess around with this, so I'll just tweak this so there's like a bunch of changes. I come in here, open up presets, I have this blank one now. Bam, this opens up my blank preset that I just made. And whenever you're just messing around with things, this makes it a lot easier. So for example, let's say I have Fruity Reverb. I have a 9090 wet preset, which just something I like to do. I like to bring down the dry, I like to bring up the wet, and then make it the size all the way. This is just a pretty basic reverb preset that I have. And that's just something I keep just in case like I ever need it. As well, you can make entire mixer track presets. So you can just right click on here. You can save the channel from the file tab the same way. You just go into file and you press save mixer track state as. It'll open up this and bam. As you can see, I already have one here, which is the ambient guitar mix. And opening it up is quite similar. You just go to file and then you open mixer track state from down here. There's a bunch that you have. I have the ambient guitar mix that I'll open right now. That opened up Guitar Rig and Fruity Reverb, and here's how that sounds on this guitar. So pretty much just making presets for anything that you think you'll use often or anything that you have used at least once could be beneficial, just because you don't need to make that preset again. This next point isn't really FL Studio related, but it is still workflow related, and that is practice. It takes time and practice to get faster at doing what you're doing. And there's some things you can do to speed that up. And one thing that I personally would do is I would set like a 20 or 10 minute timer when making beats, and just once that 20 minutes is done, I'm done the beat, moving on. So I would kind of put myself in this speed run time position where I would need to start working fast. And if I wasn't working fast, then I didn't get to finish the beat. And so pretty much it was just forcing me in situations to just start working faster. And after you do that enough times, you'll genuinely just start working faster, because again, you're practicing speed at that point. So this next point is all about organization. If you have an organized workspace, it's a lot easier to find what you're looking for. It's a lot easier to just operate and do what you need to do. So for example, one thing you can do, and this is just something I like to do personally, is having my stuff in here organized alphabetically, because that's kind of just how my mind works. So if I'm looking for something, I can just search for it alphabetically. You can change how it is set up with these. So you have categories, which just categorizes everything. So for example, instrument, contact falls under that. You can set up with tree structure too if you like that, or you can have it as simple, which is the alphabetical order. So pretty much if I'm looking for something, let's say I'm looking for contact, I just go to K, and then I can open up contact, and that's pretty easy. Another way that you can keep organized is organizing your drums. I have a lot of drums here. I've organized my one-shots all together. I've organized my punk drums. I've organized my trap drums, my go-to effects, my transitions. So pretty much anytime I have transitions, I just put them in here that I like. Any transitions I like, not just any transition. Put them in here, and these are my go-to transitions, so I don't need to search around a whole bunch just to find one single sound. Same with effects. I have a lot of them. Where's the Roblox one? Over here I have my trap drums. These are my go-to drum kits for trap. I pretty much just have these set up in one file. That's pretty much how I have that set up, and it just keeps my organization a lot easier, so I don't need to search around for a specific kit, but I can just find the kit that I'm looking for. So if I'm looking for a spins, I just can go in here, bam, easy. It's a lot easier than scrolling through hundreds and hundreds of folders and just trying to find one specific sound, when instead you could just have it set up like this. You could get a little bit more carried away with organization, but I didn't do that. So this is the final point, and that is segmenting your work. If you segment your work in a way that works best for you, you'll find that you can speed up your workflow a lot, just because you're not getting sidetracked or lolling off into something that isn't really related to what you need to be doing at the time. So for me, for example, what I like to do is I like to start out with a melody. I like to do my bass notes on FL keys. Make some kind of melody in FL keys. So I'll just drag in a MIDI actually. Again, I'll drag in a MIDI from that kit that I'm working on. This one doesn't really fit the vibe, but this is just a MIDI. So I start out by making a melody, and then I go into sound selection. By that, I'm not getting sidetracked by searching through countless sounds without even really knowing what kind of vibe I'm going for. So I compose, understand the vibe that I've made, and then I find a sound that I like. So for this, I would probably use a piano. So I'll just open up a Kontakt bank. And then let's just throw this one. This is one of my favorite pianos, especially for melodies like this. I'm gonna turn that up. And one thing that kind of relates back to the first point of templates is you can set up your template to be segmented what's best for you. So for example, I have FL keys, so that kind of reminds me that I need to start out by making a melody, and then I can go into sound selection. From there, I usually like to do drums, but everyone's different. Some people like to start with drums, some people like to start out with sound selection. It really takes a little bit of time just to find what works best for you. Anyways, that's just 5 easy little things that you can do to speed up your workflow in FL Studio, and some of these tips even help for whatever DAW you're working in. Again, appreciate you for watching the video. Thank you. If you could leave a like, comment, and subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate that. And peace.